please try not to be jealous of my beauty right now. This is how I wake up, and yeah, all of this belongs to my husband. Anyway, okay, so eyelash glue. Let's start with the first method. You're going to use eyelash glue for the first and second. You can use white glue as well, like Elmer's glue, but just use eyelash glue. It's simple. I'll just flip my mirror because it's on the big side. Okay, so we'll do a sore up here. So we're going to take eyelash glue. I'm not squeezing it this whole time. I'm like actually using the tip of the tube to spread things out. Okay, so eyelash glue, and with eyelash glue, whether you're using eyelashes or whatever, you want to like leave it for a minute so it gets tacky. So I'd wait about 30 seconds to a minute to wait for that to get tacky and sticky. Now I'm using oatmeal. I don't mean like Quaker oatmeal, like I don't mean like maple and brown sugar oatmeal or a packet of oatmeal. So this is just rolled oats, like plain oatmeal that you buy at the grocery store. This one is Quaker, it's large flake, so the flakes are a bit bigger than regular. You can use regular, it does not matter. The one I bought last time just happened to be large flake. So, and this stuff is going to last you forever. A bag of oatmeal like this, like it's not expensive, so even if you never use it again, it's not a big deal. But okay, so this is probably like dry now. So I usually hold my hand underneath to catch the excess because some of it's going to fall. And you simply take the loose oatmeal and stick it. Just trying to adjust this so you can see. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like. Your white eyelash glue is going to dry clear. So you're just going to have oatmeal on your head. I'm going to do both at the same time just so you can see what's what, you know what I mean? I should probably close that curtain. There, you can probably see better now, it's not as bright. Okay, so method 1. And where's my mirror? We'll do method 2 here, just to keep it on the same side of the face, okay? So again, I'm just using the tip to spread this around. Okay, so we're going to give that 30 seconds or so. So we all know that there's a recipe, right, that you can put corn syrup from your cupboard. It is going to be a very sticky method, nonetheless, whatever, it washes off and it works. So it's corn syrup. You put red food coloring. It's good to put a few drops of blue food coloring, because then it gets a deeper shade of red and it doesn't end up pink. Not only corn syrup, but you can do the same thing with like petroleum jelly, like Vaseline. You can add food coloring to Vaseline, stir it up good. And again, I recommend you don't put equal parts or it'll end up purple, but you put a few drops less blue. So like, I mean, if you're doing it just for one face, I'd put like 2 drops of blue and maybe 5 of red, see where you're at, but always keep the red head blue, you know what I mean? Okay, so we're going to put more oatmeal down here. So we're just going to stick it. So after this step, you can either apply liquid latex, as I'm going to show you, if you can get your hands on some. You can again use white glue over top of this, if that's going to work for you, or if that's something you want to do. Or you can use the same eyelash glue and just put some more over top of this. It just seals it on a bit better, so you don't have to worry about your oatmeal falling off all night. So anyway, one method I'm going to use liquid latex, and the other one I'll just put some more lash glue over top just so you can see. So we're doing the cheaper method, or easier, not, I don't even know how to say it. Not cheaper. Well, it is cheaper, but the more accessible method up here. Okay, so I'm going to put some more lash glue, and you don't want to be rubbing on the oatmeal with this, like, be careful, because the oatmeal will flake off if you're not being gentle at this point, but after this glue is dry on there, you can do whatever the heck you want to this, and it's going to stay there. Okay, so put lash glue over top. Again, like I said, this is going to dry clear, so it doesn't really matter if you're getting it around and on your skin. Why not? And I mean, the more the oatmeal sticks out and is bumpy like that, the better it's going to look once the blood is on it and everything. So we're going to go with liquid latex on the bottom one. Liquid latex does have a stank to it when you first put it on. So even if you're doing this on someone, like, warn them, okay, this is going to like stink for a minute. It's just got this stink. So you can tell them, like, it's going to stink for a minute, but once it's dry, it doesn't stink anymore. So this one is a Graftobian. Again, it's got this little, like, brush on the end. That's not the way yours is. Use any little brush, an old paintbrush, like anything. And again, this dries as latex, so like a fine rubber. So at the end of the night, this will just peel off as one piece, and if you want to keep your scab and reuse it, knock yourself out. You know what? My liquid latex is dry, so we're going to go ahead and do that one. So this is the one that we're using cream makeup, okay? So whatever cream makeup you can get your hands on or mix together, look at your color wheel. Like I said, lipstick will work. So these are the colors that I'm using. There's black, almost empty. Then there's like this really deep plum purple-ish, more of a plum. This one is like a burnt red, like an orange red almost, and then this yellow, which is not a bright yellow, it's more a mustard yellow. Okay, so where the heck? I don't know where anything is. Okay, makeup wedges, like sponges. I'm just gonna rip them in half. This is like a package from the dollar store. So I take the black first, and I just stipple my sponge, and I just stipple over the oatmeal. Make sure you have enough on there. Okay, so it is rubbery in here, so you're gonna like feel it pulling a bit, not pulling at your face, but you're gonna feel it like stick to the sponge a little. That's perfectly fine. So I want the darkest on the inside, and then it to be more gradient, like bruising. This is a bruising stacker, actually. Now I'm going to take the blending brush, and I just want to blend out the edges a bit because I don't want it to be like harsh black line. Then I'm going to take the plum color, clean sponge, or the other half of the sponge, I should say. Get it on there. And then you're going to concentrate this one just outside the black, kind of on the black and just outside of it. You don't want to completely hide the black, however. Then take the blending brush and just soften up the edge again. Anyway, this is just going to make it look like more realistic of a bobo. Okay, another sponge. Taking the reddish orange. Get it on there. It's a rust, really, is what it is. And just put that lightly around the outside of the purple. And then just be sure to blend out the edges. Don't blend over the whole thing, just blend the edge. This method works for anything. Like I did my cousin's makeup last year. He was like an MMA fighter, like UFC. And yeah, that's what I did with him. Same method for bruising. So it doesn't have to be just for sores. You can do this just if you need bruises of some sort. And this is the mustard yellow. the other half of the clean sponge, get it on there, and put this around the outside of that. Yeah, I don't want to blend the red into this part, so I'm just going to use my finger to blend it out. So you see how it's starting to look like a sore. Now, the next part of this, come on, thing. Okay, so what I usually do now is use the blood paste. So I'm just going to get some on my spatula. It's kind of like gelatinous. So to tell you the truth, you could use like strawberry jam, raspberry jam, any sort, like grape jam, any sort of jam or jelly that you have in your house will also work. It'll be sticky, but I mean, who cares? It's going to be stuck to this oatmeal. So unless you're like rubbing it all over somebody all night. So I just take the blood paste, and this warms up once it's like on, starts to blend and look a little more yucky. So as I said, if any of this oatmeal like lifts or anything like at all, the bumpier the better. So you want to keep the paste concentrated to the actual oatmeal area. And after that, you can leave it just like that and be done with it. Or you can take like extra blood and like just put some blood down from it if you want it to look like it's bleeding. But I usually don't put blood from the actual sore. Okay, so that's method number one, okay? So usually I'd have like some sort of blood coming out the side of the mouth. I usually use the same method under the eye for bruising, or to make it look like you're freaking dead or tired. I mean, take the black, the purple, red, and then the yellow. Obviously, I'd do it better another time, but you just saw me do this in like 30 seconds. So, if you want to make it look like you were dead or dead tired, whatever, for whatever costume, that'll work. Okay? So, on to this one here. This is the one with the lash glue. It is now completely dry. So, let's pick out some eyeshadows that'll work here. Okay, so I'm going to use, for my black, I'm going with the Bear palette. And I'll use this black matte color here. It's called Control. I'm using the same brush, same 217. Okay, so get some of the black, whatever black. It can be whatever brand. As long, I mean, you don't want something that's really like frothy or shimmery, because it's not going to look very, very realistic. So you put your black. So next would be like a purplish. So I'm going to use Surrender from the Flare palette, and it's the one on the end there. It's like a deep plum purple. This one here. So get some of that. And same thing we did with the other one. Just stick to the outside edge with it. I actually had to do this with eyeshadows last week when we had a, there was a photo shoot that I did, and I got all the way to town, and once I was like done my first model and on to the second, I was like, oh my god, I totally forgot my bruising stacker. So I had to make do with what I had there. I wasn't going to leave and go all the way home. So this is what I had to do with her. Okay, so next we'll go with Reveal, because that's a good rust color there. Same brush again. and you don't want to cover the other ones that you did. Just want to like go around them. And I realize this video is probably getting pretty long, but I mean, I'm showing both methods, and it's very quick to do when you're just doing it on yourself. I promise you, anybody can do this. Then I'm going to use Shout, which is a yellow. Probably prefer more of a mustard color, but I don't think I have a mustard colored eyeshadow either. So this one, you're going to stick to the outside edge and blend it outward. Anyway, you don't have to use this big of a circumference either. So that's it for the eyeshadow method. I'm going to show you just with like fake blood or something that you can get at the store for this. Because these bloods tend to go on a lot more red, that's why you want to have the, if you're doing the corn syrup method, I'm going to put the recipe for that in the down bar. If you're using the corn syrup method, you're going to want to add the blue, as I said, just to make it deeper. For this, I'm just going to use that same black that I used, and I'm going to try and mute out some of the brightness of the oatmeal. Anything you have will work. Gel eyeliner, liquid eyeliner, like anything. See, look, see how the lash glue is pulling? The more that happens, the better it ends up looking. So don't worry. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to take the end of my brush, get some of the cream makeup, start getting it in there, in the cracks. You don't want to have a bunch of white. You want to have a little bit because it's going to add like some dimension to it. Okay, so see how there we go. So you want it to look pretty much like that. And that's just going to add some depth to it and make the red appear darker. So you can get any sort of blood capsules, blood anything, from a dollar store, from anything. Or as I said, the Vaseline with food coloring, I'd show you, but I don't have any food coloring in the house right now. I just used it because I made red velvet cake, which was a flop. Anyway, this is just blood. I do have a big jug over there, like jug of blood that you can get from Walmart. It's all pretty much the same. And if you deepen up your base like this, it'll work. Just if you put it over just the plain oatmeal like that, it's just going to end up being pink. So you see what I mean? That is going to give you realistic enough looking scabs or sores, black eyes, any sort of bruising that you need. If you were doing like a cut, like when I did my cousin's makeup last year, I simply